Okay, this is a recipe that I've been kind of mulling around in my mind for a little bit. It's going to be my version of pad thai, at least what I know of pad thai. I don't know very much about it, but anyway. We're going to be using the Aldi's brand of organic black bean spaghetti. It is 4 points for 2-ounce serving, but I'm only going to use a 1-ounce serving, which will be 2 points. And 4 ounces also has 25 grams of protein. So our 1 ounce will have about 12 grams of protein, and it's going to have 6 grams of fiber, as 2 ounces has 12 grams of fiber. So this is extremely high in protein and extremely high in fiber. So that is going to really help with being full. And then we're going to get our Asian flavor from some teriyaki. Now again, this was the teriyaki sauce that is actually 2 points per a tablespoon. And I'm working on, actually no, I put it in there. I can have up to 2 tablespoons for 2 points, but I'm looking for a lower point teriyaki sauce anyway. But for now, we're going to use this. So this is going to be 2 points in our recipe tonight. And then I'm going to use just 1 teaspoon of the sesame oil, which is also 1 point. And then I'm going to be using the PB2, another 1 point. I'm going to use 2 tablespoons. And then I'm just going to use some minced dried onions. My Target 79-cent a bag of stir-fry vegetables. 2 eggs, 0 points. And some chicken breasts. Now, I get a bunch of chicken breasts at one time at like Sam's Club. And then I season them just like with onions, garlic powder, that kind of stuff. And just real basic seasoning so that it can make multiple different kinds of meals. And then I just do them all at once in the crock pot. And then I freeze them in 1 breast per a Ziploc bag. And then I put them all in a huge freezer Ziploc bag. And then I just pull them out as I need them. So this was just pulled out of the freezer yesterday and put it into my refrigerator so it defrost by today. And so all of this is only going to be 2, 4, 5, and 6. 6 points for this. It's going to be a huge dish for 6 points. Because the vegetables are 0 points, the eggs are 0 points, and the chicken is 0 points. So just a minute, I'm going to be starting to put some of this stuff together, and then I'll show you. Okay, so I'm going to start by boiling the spaghetti. I have the water almost boiling, and I'm going to fry up these 2 eggs. I keep my my spray oil in my Lazy Susan here beside me. So I'm going to fry these 2 eggs up. Ooh, that's a sizzle sound, isn't it? I always wash my hands after I cook raw eggs, although most eggs today have been pasteurized. They should be plenty safe, but I like to be extra safe. I'm going to dump my noodles into the boiling water here that I got off to the side. And just a word of caution, these noodles have so much black beans in them and so little like flour and pasta type stuff that these do not take very long to cook. And if you overcook them, a lot of people do not like them when they are overcooked because they say they're a little bit on the slimy side. So I have been very careful to make sure I never overcook these. And so just try to remember that they are a little, that you have to be careful not to overcook them. I'm going to turn off my eggs because I think they're done. That was quick, Ray. And these noodles don't take very long either. And then Now, this is only 1 ounce of the noodles. Sorry, there's a lot of static electricity because it's wintertime. But, only using 1 ounce. I'm plentiful with everything that I'm adding to this. The vegetables and the fiber and protein and the noodles alone. And the eggs and the peanut butter powder. I'm pretty stuffed after all this. But, if you need more, what you could do is either use another ounce for another 2 points. Or if you want to keep it to the 6 points, you could add zoodles. Or any of the vegetable noodles that you make yourself with the spiralizer. Or even like Sprouts and stuff now already sells them already spiralized for you. Or you could use the tofu shiitake noodles and bulk it up with that. Or some people use like those beans, the bean sprouts and stuff like that. That's kind of a noodly look and texture sometimes. So there's some other options you can do to beef up or bulk up your noodles to make them, you know, more to what would be more filling to you. Now, I know it's not been very long, but I think these may be done. No. Getting close though. Really, really close. Probably just a few more minutes, maybe 2 more minutes, but these do not take very long to cook at all. Let me see, what does it say? It says 6 to 8 minutes, but I don't think it's ever taken me 8 minutes of these boiling. Never. But of course I don't do the whole box like, you know, the preparation on the box says to. I only do 1 ounce or 2 ounces at a time. So I'm going to finish cooking that, and I'll get right back with you. Okay, I'm pretty sure that the noodles are done now, so I'm just going to drain them in this colander in the sink, and then I'm going to use the same pot to put all the other stuff back in to heat it up. Now, they're not very appetizing looking, probably, to many people, but I like them. They taste good, and they're kind of a fun difference. So we got that. I'm going to add a teaspoon of this, but I forgot to get my measuring stick. Well, I got the half a teaspoon, so we're going to use 2 of these. And like I said, this is sesame oil, so I'm going to use, well, I'll start, you know what, I will start with a half a teaspoon, and then if I need more, I'll add more. Don't worry, I clean these cabinets multiple times a day, so it is not being contaminated by being put on the counter, because I clean them over and over again every day. So I'm just going to swish that around the noodles. It'll make them slick and be able to take on some flavor that way too. Then I fried up the eggs, and I kind of just did a scramble on them. I'm going to cut them up just a little bit. Then I'm going to add them to it. Actually, I'm going to add the vegetables first because they're frozen and I don't want to overcook the eggs. So I'm going to turn my burner back on. And I'm going to put these in here. But these won't be long. And yeah, I did the whole bag too. It was 79 cents. So really, this is why I only need 1 ounce of the, sorry. I'm new to this tripod stuff. Sorry, people. That's why I only really need 1 ounce of the noodles, because I am adding a ton of vegetables and other stuff that doesn't have points. That's going to be the filler. The pasta is just a little small part of it. Try to have most of my stuff be 0 points, and then just little bits of the stuff that have to count points. So this is going to take a few minutes to defrost. So I'm going to put you on pause again, and I'll be back when the vegetables are done. Okay, it took a while to get the vegetables heated up, so next time I'll steam them first before adding them to that. So then I'm going to add, my egg glass so it doesn't get too torn up. I'm going to add a tablespoon of this. And then we'll see if I want a second tablespoon, but we're going to start with 1 tablespoon. And I really like that this is double. Each side is a tablespoon, so I could use that for the wet and use the other side for the dry. I should have done the dry though first. Usually I would have, but a little bit nervous as I'm still new to this whole thing that I'm doing here. Try not to get that in my sleeve while I do this. Okay, that's probably about a tablespoon. Okay, and yep, I got it on my sleeve. That's okay. I'll just wash it off here in a minute. Okay. In fact, I'm kind of crazy about washing my hands, and I kind of want to wash them right now. So I'm trying to resist. Okay. Okay. I'm for sure probably going to add another tablespoon of the peanut butter powder, but it's actually pretty wet, so I'm not sure if I will add another tablespoon of the teriyaki at this point. I'm pretty good with the wetness, I think. Okay, so I'm going to pull this up a little bit this time. There we go. There we go. Now sometimes higher calorie stuff I actually weigh out, but this is so low in calories, if it's a gram over or whatever, it's not going to really make that much of a difference. So I'm not going to weigh it out. I just use the measuring spoons for this. But again, if it was something higher in calories or that I would tend to overeat if I didn't weigh it out, then I would weigh it out. Just like the noodles. I weighed out the noodles because it is hard to use a measuring cup for uncooked noodles and get the right amount, at least in my opinion, and experience of it. Okay, it's pretty hot. So I'm just going to try a little bitty bit here. I think that is right on. I do not need any more of the sesame oil. I might add just a tiny bit more of, yeah, I'm going to use a half a tablespoon more, not a full tablespoon. So it will be 1.5 tablespoons of the teriyaki sauce. And I forgot to add my dried onions. And also some ginger and sesame seeds would be really good in this, and I forgot. Let me go get some. Okay, so I went and got some sesame seeds and some ground ginger, and I'm going to add them to it too. So just to my taste. I like a lot of ginger. You may not. Do it to your taste. Now, sesame seeds I'm going to be a little bit more careful about, but I'm going to add, that's about a 1/4 of a teaspoon. And then I'm going to go ahead and stir that around. And then I'm going to add the eggs, and I am done. Ooh, this looks amazing. This looks really, really good. And this is all, remember, 6 points. So this is crazy low dinner. And you could really make it lower by like I said, finding a lower point teriyaki sauce. Find a lower point teriyaki sauce. And you could use just zoodles. You don't have to use this kind of pasta. You could use zoodles or any of those vegetable spiraled vegetable noodles, or any of the tofu shiitake or the yam flour noodles instead. And you would greatly decrease the points. You would only have to count the oil and the teriyaki. And yes, I almost forgot to add the chicken. Now, I'm only going to add probably about 2 ounces of chicken breast, but I'm not, again, this is something I'm not weighing since it's went to 0 points. I'm just taking off a hunk of the breast and adding it. But at 0 points, if I use 2 ounces or 6 ounces, it's up to me for the 0 points. Just let your weight loss be the guide, but there's nobody who's 400 pounds because they ate too much chicken breast. So if we're real about that, that's not going to really matter. I'm going to wash my hands. Stir it up and serve it to you. Well, to myself. But show you how it looks served. Okay. Stir the chicken in. Ooh, this is looking so yummy. And this is a lot of food, guys, for 6 points. But like I said, you could easily make this a 2-point dinner by using 0 point kinds of noodles and, you know, using a lower point teriyaki sauce. Okay. Now, it's not very pretty, but it is a ton of food. So I'm going to put it on my plate here. And you can garnish it with a little bit more of the sesame seeds. Now, again, these noodles are not as firm or stable as your regular wheat noodles. So you have to kind of remember that when you're using them. So they have not stayed into noodle form. Oh, you could also use spaghetti squash for this. You could make a huge pile with spaghetti squash too for 0 points on the pasta part. I'm gonna run some hot water in that so it's easier to wash later. But anyway, and this is a huge 6-point plate of what I'm going to call pad thai.